Lara Trump is with us, senior advisor to the Trump 2020 campaign. Okay, the brother of Jeff Bezos' mistress is a big fan of President Trump. Bezos is not a big fan of President Trump.
We know that for sure.
Is there a connection?
He's been very clear.
Is there a connection here?
I mean, I don't think so. I think, personally, I don't really care about this story. I don't know how many people out there, I know you're saying it's what everyone's talking about, but what does this have to do with anything, really? I don't know that there's really any connection. It sounds like they have a little sibling issue they need to work out personally, but I know my brother would never do something like this to me, thank God. So it's a terrible thing.
I would love to know how they work out that sibling relationship.
I know.
Everybody will be talking about that, I'm sure. Next case, Beto O'Rourke's presidential campaign. It's off to a pretty good start. He raised, what, $6 million, I think, in the first day after declaring for his candidacy. But he's already apologizing for what he calls his male privilege. Hold on a second. Just watch this, everybody.
But I'll be much more thoughtful going forward in the way that I talk about our marriage, and also the way in which I acknowledge the truth of the criticism that I have enjoyed white privilege. Absolutely. Undeniable.
Okay, go ahead, react to that.
Can't we all get over this? You're born a certain way and just embrace it and be who you are. And listen, I know he raised $6 million in his first day, but we have no fears about Robert Francis O'Rourke. I can guarantee you that a lot of that money that he made came from very big donors. At the Trump campaign, on the other hand, we've had a historic fundraising. Since the president was sworn into office in 2017, we've raised over $58 million, 98% of that from small dollar donors, meaning $100 or less. So what that tells us at the campaign is that we have the people behind us. The president has the support of the people behind him, not a couple of, billionaires that are financing Beto's campaign. Other than him being a great skateboarder, which we all know
he's good on TV.
He's probably a better skateboarder than the president. I don't really know what he's offering the country.
Well, I think there's maybe 24 declared candidates.
There are
plus
quite a
Joe
few.
Biden,
yes,
who has not yet declared.
Maybe, possibly.
Is there one that you would single out and say, that person worries me?
I really can't say that anyone worries me. In fact, I've been saying I don't understand why people are so obsessed on the Democrat side with getting in this race for 2020. Save your money, save your energy, run in 2024. Stuart, you're not going to beat Donald Trump. There will be more people to vote for him in 2020 than 2016 because some of those people who didn't like him in 2016 now see that life is a lot better for them under a Trump presidency, and they're going to go in and vote for him.
Most of these candidates are far left.
Very far left.
Very far, and that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
But their message has a certain appeal to a large group of people. Free college, free health care. I know it's not free, but that's the message.
Well,
that is appealing.
Yeah, they're appealing to people who don't live in the real world. They're appealing to a lot of kids that are in college. That sounds great. You're going to wipe out my financial debt from going to college one day. Who is paying for all of this? You look at things like the Green New Deal, $93 trillion. It would cost every household in this country $600,000 a piece, which I think most people would say is absolutely bananas. They cannot get behind. It all sounds good in theory, but it would bankrupt this country. It would send us into a financial downspin. You see what we have happening right now under a Trump presidency. The economy is booming. People are making more money. People are in full-time instead of part-time jobs these days. We have manufacturing jobs by the hundreds of thousands coming back to this country, which I know our previous president said you'd have to have a magic wand to do. Apparently, Donald Trump has it because they are coming back and people are doing better in this country.
$600 billion. $600 billion has been repatriated. Yes. Largely by large tech companies overseas coming here. Lara, I know you're out of time. We're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Come and see us again.
Will
okay?
do.
Thank you very much, Lara.